Welcome to the Friday meeting of the Better Living Group. Ash and I'm eager to.
Your voice is pretty low.
All right, yeah. Currently, we are reading from the book by James Clear. We are on page 3.1, chapter 2. How your habits shape your identity. Group's preamble: the primary purpose of the Better Living Group is to carry its message to a person who is eager to live a better life. We bolster our life with balanced living. There are no dues or fees for the membership. I'm gonna skip the guiding principles, giving the time, and I'm gonna straight away start the reading. Manish, would you like to go ahead? Amrish, would you like to read? Start the session today with your.
Yes, please. Actually, your voice was pretty low. I was not able to hear it.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so I'll start from here. Chapter 2: How your habits shape your identity and vice versa. Why is it so easy to repeat bad habits and so hard to form good ones? Few things can have a more powerful impact on your life than improving your daily habits. And yet, it is likely that this time next year you will be doing same thing rather than doing something better. It often feels difficult to keep good habits going for more than a few days, even with sincere effort and the occasional burst of motivation. Habits like exercise, meditation, journaling, and cooking are reasonable for a day or two and then become a hassle. However, once your habits are established, they seem to stick around forever, especially the unwanted ones. Despite our best intention, unhealthy habits like eating junk food, watching too much television, procrastinating, and smoking can feel impossible to break. Changing our habits is challenging for two reasons. We try to change the wrong thing, and we try to change our habits in a wrong way. In this chapter, I'll address the first point. In the chapters that follow, I'll answer the second. Our first mistake is that we try to change the wrong thing. To understand that what I mean, consider that there are three levels at which change can occur. You can imagine them like layers of an onion. Three layers of behavior change. The core is identity. Second layer is processes, and the last one is outcomes. There are three layers of behavior change: a change in your outcome, change in your processes, or a change in your identity. The first layer is changing your outcomes. This level is concerned with changing your results, losing weight, publishing a book, winning a championship. Most of the goals you set are associated with this level of change. The second layer is changing your processes. This level is concerned with changing your habits and systems, implementing a new routine at the gym, decluttering your desk for better workflow, developing a meditation practice. Most of the habits you build are associated with this level. The third and deepest layer is changing your identity. This level is concerned with changing your beliefs, your worldview, your self image, your judgments about yourself and others. Most of the beliefs, assumptions, and biases you hold are associated with this level. Outcomes are about what you get, processes are about what you do, identity is about what you believe. When it comes to building habits that last, when it comes to building a system of 1% improvement, problem is not that one level is better or worse than another. All levels of change are useful in their own way. The problem is the direction of change. Many people begin the process of changing their habits by focusing on what they want to achieve. This leads us to outcome based habits. The alternative is to build identity based habits. With this approach, we start by focusing on who we wish to become. Outcome based habits. So, outcome based habits, we go from first, second, and to the core. Identity based habits, we start from identity and then come to the outcome. Imagine two people resisting a cigarette. When offered a smoke, the first person says, No thanks, I am trying to quit. It sounds like a reasonable response, but this person still believes they are a smoker who is trying to be something else. They are hoping their behavior will change while carrying around the same belief. The second person declines by saying, "No thanks, I am not a smoker." It's a small difference, but this statement signals a shift in identity. Smoking was part of their former life, not their current one. They no longer identify as someone who smokes. Most people don't even consider identity change when they set out to improve. They just think, I want to be skinny, that is the outcome, and if I stick to this diet, then I'll be skinny. Process. They set goals and determine the action. They set goals and determine the action they should take to achieve these goals without considering the belief. They set goals and determine the action they should take to achieve these goals without considering the beliefs that drive their actions. They never shift the way they look at themselves, and they don't realize that their old identity can sabotage their plans for change. Behind every system of action are a system of beliefs. The system of democracy is founded on beliefs like freedom, majority rule, and social equality. The system of dictatorship is a very different set of beliefs like absolute authority and strict obedience. You can imagine many ways to try to get more people to vote in a democracy, but such behavior change would never get off the ground in a dictatorship. That's not the identity of the system. Voting is a behavior that is impossible under a certain set of beliefs. A certain pattern exists whether we are discussing individual, organization, or societies. There are a set of beliefs and assumptions that shape the system and identity based on the system behind the system habits. Behavior that is incongruent with the self will not last. You may want more money, but if your identity is someone who consumes rather than creates, then you will continue to be pulled towards spending rather than earning. You may want better health, but if you continue to prioritize comfort over accomplishment, you'll be drawn to relaxing rather than training. It's hard to change your habits if you never change the underlying beliefs that led to your past behavior. You have a new goal and a new plan, but you haven't changed who you are. The story of Brian Clark, an entrepreneur from Boulder, Colorado, provides a good example. For as long as can remember, I have chewed my fingernails. Clark told me it started as a nervous habit when I was young, then morphed into undesirable grooming ritual. One day I resolved to stop chewing my nails until they grew out a bit. Through mindful willpower alone I managed to do it. Then Clark did something inspiring, something surprising. Sorry. I asked my wife to schedule my first ever manicure. He said, my thought was that if I started paying to maintain my nails, I wouldn't chew them. And it worked, but not for the monetary reason. What happened was the manicure made my fingers look really nice for the first time. The manicurist even said that other than the chewing, I had really healthy, attractive nails. Suddenly, I was proud of my fingernails. And even though that's something I had never aspired to, it made all the difference. I have never chewed my nails since, not even a single close call. And it's because I now take pride in properly caring for them. Now, here I would like to stop and pass. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Amrish. How's my voice?
It's still low on the lower side.
Is it better now?
No,
Is it better now?
a bit better.
Okay. It should be better now.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna continue the reading, page 35. Today we have 16th of October 2020. Wonderful month, wonderful time to be here. The more pride you have in a particular aspect of your identity, the more motivated you will be to maintain a habit associated with it. When you're proud of how your hair looks, you will develop all sorts of habits to care for and maintain it. When you're proud of your size of your biceps, you'll make sure you never skip an upper body workout. When you're proud of the cars units you hours weak or strong. Once your pride gets involved, you'll fight tooth and nail to maintain. True behavior change is identity change. You might start a habit because of a motivation. However, the only reason you will stick with one is that it becomes part of your identity. Anyone can convince themselves to visit the gym or eat healthy once or twice. However, when you don't shift the belief behind the behavior, then it is hard to change. The goal is not to read the book. The goal is to become a reader. The goal is to become a runner, not to run a marathon. Is the goal. The goal is not to learn. Your behaviors are usually a reflection of your identity. What you do is an indication of a type of person you believe that you are, either consciously or non-consciously. Research has shown that once a person believes in a particular aspect of their identity, they are more likely to act in alignment with that belief. For example, people who identify as being a warrior are more likely to. Similarly, the person who incorporates exercises into their identity does not have to convince themselves to train. Doing the right thing is easy. And after all, when your behavior and your identity are fully aligned, you are no longer pursuing a behavior change. You are simply acting like the type of person you already believe yourself to be. Like all the aspects of habit formation, this stage its work. When working for you, identity change can be powerful force for self-improvement. When working against you, though, identity change can be a curse. Once you have adopted an identity, it can easily let your allegiance to it impact your ability to change. Many people walk through life in a cognitive blindly following the norms attached to their identity. I'm terrible with directions. I'm not a morning person. I'm bad at remembering people's names. I'm always late. And I'm not good with technology. I'm horrible at math and at thousands other variations. When you have repeated a story to yourself for years, it's easy to slide into those mental grooves and accept them as a fact. In time, you begin to resist certain actions because that's not who I am. There is an internal pressure to maintain yourself and behave in a way that is consistent with your beliefs. You find whatever way to avoid contradicting yourself. The more deeply a thought or action is tied to your identity, the more difficult it is to change it. It can feel comfortable to believe what your culture believes, a group identity, or to do what upholds your self image, that is, personal identity, even when it is wrong. The biggest barrier to positive change at any level, be it individual, team, or society, is identity conflict. Good habits can make rational sense. However, when they conflict with your identity, you will fail to pull them into action. On an any given day, you may struggle with your habits because you are too busy or too tired or too overwhelmed or hundreds of other reasons. Over the long run, however, the real reason you fail is to stick with the habits attached to one version of your identity. Progress requires unlearning. Becoming the best version of yourself requires you to continuously edit your beliefs and to upgrade and expand your identity. This brings us to an important question. When your beliefs and worldwide views play such an important role in your behavior, where do they come from? How exactly is your identity formed? How can emphasize new aspects of your identity that serve you and gradually erase the pieces that hinder you? The two-step process of changing your identity goes like this. Your identity emerges of your habits. You're not born with a person beliefs. Your beliefs, including those about yourself, is learned and conditioned through experience. More precisely, your habits are how you embody your identity. When you make a bed each day, you embody the identity of an organized person. When you write each day, you embody an identity of a creative person. When you train each day, you embody an identity of an athletic person. The more you repeat the behavior, the more you reinforce the identity associated with that behavior. In fact, the word identity was originally derived from Latin word identitas, which means being, and identidam, which means repeatedly. Your identity is literally your repeated beingness. Whatever your identity is right now, you only believe it because you have a proof of it. When you go to church every Sunday for 20 years, you have evidence that you are religious. When you study biology for 1 hour every night, you have an evidence that you're studious. When you go to the gym, even when it is snowing, you have evidence that you are committed to fitness. The more evidence you have for a belief, the more strongly you will believe it. For most of my early life, I didn't consider myself as a writer. When you were to ask any of my high school teachers or college professors, they would tell you I was an average writer at best, certainly not a standout. When I began my writing career, I published a few articles every Monday and Thursday for the first few years. As the evidence grew, so did my identity as a writer. I didn't start out as a writer, I became one through my habits. Of course, your habits are not the only action that influence your identity. By the virtue of their frequency, they are usually the most important ones. Each experience in life modifies your self image. However, it's unlikely you would consider yourself a soccer player because you kicked a ball once, or an artist who scribbled a picture. As you repeat these actions, however, the evidence accumulates and your self image begins to change. The effect of one off experiences tend to fade away, while the effect of habit gets reinforced with time, which means your habits contribute most of the evidence that shapes of your identity. In this way, the process of building habits is actually the process of becoming yourself. This is a gradual evolution. We do not change by snapping our fingers and deciding to be someone entirely new. We change bit by bit, day by day, habit by habit. We are continually undergoing micro evolutions of the self. Each habit is like a suggestion. Hey, maybe this is who I am. When you finish the book, then perhaps you're the type of person who likes reading. When you go to the gym, then perhaps you're the type of the person who likes exercise. When you practice playing guitar, perhaps you are a type of person who likes music. Every action you take is a vote for the type of a person you wish to become. No single instance will transform your beliefs. However, as the votes build up, so does the evidence of your new identity. This is one reason why meaningful change does not require radical change. Small habits can make you meaningful difference by providing evidence of the new identity. And when a change is meaningful, it actually is big. That's the paradox of making small improvements. Putting this all together, you can see that habits are the path to changing your identity. The most practical way to change who you are is to change what you do. Each time you write a page, you are a writer. Each time you practice a violin, you are a musician. Each time you start a workout, you are an athlete. Each time you encourage your employees, you are a leader. Each habit not only gets the result, however, also teaches you something far more important: to trust yourself. You start to believe you can actually accomplish these things. When the votes mount up and the evidence begin to change, the story you tell to yourself begins to change as well. Of course, it works the opposite way too. Every time you choose to perform a bad habit, it votes for that identity. The good news is that you don't need to be perfect. In any election, there are going to be votes for both sides. You don't need to be unanimous vote to win an election. You just need a majority. It does not matter when you cast a few votes for a bad behavior or unproductive habit. Your goal is to simply win the majority of the time. New identities require new evidence. When you keep casting the same votes you've always cast, you're going to get the same results you've always had. When nothing changes, nothing is going to change. It's a simple two-step process. First, decide the type of person you want to be. Second, prove it to yourself with small wins. Prove it to yourself with a small. First, decide who you want to be. That's all at any level, as an individual or as a team or as a community or as a nation. What do you want to stand for? What are your principles and values? What do you wish to become? These are the big questions, and many people aren't sure where to begin. They do know what kind of results they want: to get six pack abs, or to feel anxious, or to double their salary. That's fine. Start there and work backwards from the result you want to the type of a person who could get those results. Ask yourself, who is the type of person that could get the outcome I want? Who is the type of a person that could lose 40 pounds? Who is the type of a person who can learn a new language? Who is a type of a person that could run a successful startup? For example, who is the type of person who could write a book? It's probably someone who is consistent and reliable. Now your focus shifts from writing a book outcome based to being a type of a person who is consistent and reliable. The process can lead to beliefs like, I am the kind of a teacher who stand up for her students. I'm the kind of a doctor who gives each patient the time and empathy they need. I am the kind of a manager who advocates for her employees. Once you have a handle on the type of person you want to be, you can begin taking small steps to reinforce your desired identity. I have a friend who lost over 100 pounds by asking herself, what would a healthy person do? What would a healthy person do? And what would a healthy person do? All day long, she would use the question as a guide. Would a healthy person walk or take a cab? Would a healthy person order a burrito salad? She figured when she started acting as a healthy person long enough, eventually she'll become that person. She was right. The concept of identity based habit is our the first introduction to another key theme of this book: feedback loops. Your habits shape your identity, and your identity shapes your habits. It's a two-way street. The formation of all habits is a feedback loop. However, it's important to let your values, principles, and identity drive the loop rather than your results. The focus should always be on becoming the type of person, not getting the particular outcome. The real reason that habits matter. Identity change is the North Star of the habit chain. The remainder of this book will provide you with a step by step instruction on how to build better habits in yourself, your family, your team, your company, and anywhere else you wish. However, the true question is, are you becoming the type of person who you want to become? The first step is not what or how, but who you want to become. And you need to know who you want to be. Otherwise, your quest for changing is like a boat without a rudder. And that's why we are starting here. You have the power to change your beliefs about yourself. Your identity is not set in stone. You have a choice in every moment. You can choose the identity you want to reinforce today with the habits you choose today. And this brings us to the deeper purpose of this book and the real reason habits matter. Building better habits isn't about littering your day with life hacks. It's not about flossing one tooth each night and taking a cool shower each morning and wearing the same outfit each day. It's not about achieving external measures of success like earning more money, losing weight, or reducing stress. Habits can help you achieve all those things. However, fundamentally, they are not about having something, they're about becoming someone. Ultimately, your habits matter because they help you become the type of person you wish to be. There are channels through which you. Chapter summary. There are three levels of change: outcome change, process change, and identity change. The most effective way to change your habits is to focus not on what you want to achieve, however, on what you wish to become. Your identity emerges out of your habits. Every action is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Becoming the best version of yourself requires you to continuously edit your beliefs and to upgrade and expand your identity. The real reason habit matters is not because they can get you better results, although they can do that, however, because they can change your beliefs about yourself. Wow, what is a really strong, value-based, root-based, wonderful read, and I'm really happy that I read it again. So I'm gonna open the floors for shares.
Thanks, Akash. So I would like to start sharing. So it was another beautiful read today, and author beautifully explains how people who are actually breaking the bad habits identify themselves, as provided by the example of two smokers who quit smoking. One was like, I don't smoke, uh, and second says, I am not a smoker. So there was the other one who said, I am not a smoker, said it very aptly, because he was identifying himself as, right now he's not a smoker. So that's why his habit, the craving for the smoking, or smoking cigarettes, will lessen by the time he's able to repeat it again and again and again whenever he gets time. So making or breaking habit also depends on how we identify ourselves. Good habits, yes, takes time to build. We create hassle sometime while doing starting to exercise, while starting to meditate. But if we identify ourselves, okay, I'm a good athlete, or I'm a meditator. Every time we meditate, so it boosts our morale, and also gives one another reason to do it on the regular basis. So, yep, it was another wonderful read, and can't wait to complete it again and start applying in my life. I am using it some concepts in making my habits, and there are a lot to learn. Yep, thank you.
Thanks, Amrish. I'm really glad that I'm here and I'm doing this session. Hi, my name is Akash and I'm eager to live a better life. Thank you for this wonderful read and your shares. It's always a pleasure to listen to your thoughts, which is very pure and kind and very and has a eagerness which I also experience on daily basis, and that's why we are here. Reading a book together, not just the book, I have applied this principle to our religion and I'm reaping the benefits. We as a family started doing our God's scripture every Saturday, 7 p.m. Same concept. Yeah. No sharing, although. So, what we do is we do Samasta Sundarkand of our Holy Father for about 1 hour. Then we do dinner together religiously. These 2 hours of the family, at least doing it every Saturday, really started bringing the unity, the service attitude, and the little discords, little apprehensions all get cleared up. I see so much change happening. No, I owe this to you guys. I asked my father for the direction and allow my religion to bring unity in my family. And from last 2 months, and I've been able to see this happening. Yeah, because everybody believes in a religion in my place. Yeah, and I too. I after doing these sessions, I don't know. My faith was strong. My belief in myself and my identity has grown exponentially, exponentially. And you know what my belief is? My belief is from last 2 months it has been coming to my mind, and I think something which keeps coming back in my mind is what my destiny is. And I am supposed to be a humble servant. That's it. A humble servant of my family heritage. I need to make sure that I take my family heritage to new levels so that it can support millions and gazillions of families who needs right people. Because in my country there is no value for money, which I hate, which I don't like, and I don't accept it. And which means when I spend $100, I only get $40 value out of it. No. When I spend $100 and with $10 as a profit, I should get a value of $90. No. I want to open hospitals, I want to open schools, I want to open libraries. And when you listen to what I want to do, it's equivalent to opening my own government with my own religion and set of beliefs. It's a gigantic task. Yeah. And people might laugh. I've not, this is the first time I'm telling it. However, since 2014, I've been writing it. 15, 16, 17, I got frayed up. I got stuck in the thick of thin things. Yeah. I again revived everything. And the beauty is 4 years ago, what I wrote, I wanted my life, is still the same things with the same passion I want. Yeah. The first thing I wrote was I want to have I want to be in the company of my holy father via name chanting, because this is the ultimate thing, ultimate nectar of life, staying connected with my holy father, with my god, using a holy name. So working on identity, being a servant of my family heritage, and my family heritage then becoming the servant of my good country, and my country becoming the servant of this world is my goal. And I have to wear my party shoes on because I'm going to rock their world. I move like a tank. I do not flank. I destroy. I attack. I go on offensive. I go so fast that I leave everything behind. Today I move like a tank and I am relentless. And I suggest anyone who is in my path move because today I am going to move and I will be unstoppable, locked on and in pursuit of my target. I am resourceful and I'm rich and I'm resilient. Today I move like a tank. I am fearless and I release an enormous power. The force with which I go is overwhelming. World is moving because of my actions. I'm significant to my family, to my society, to my friends, to my employee. Today, I move like a tank, and today I rise. With that note, I'll conclude the sharing part of this meeting. Thank you, everybody, for coming. The next meeting of this group is on Monday, 800 hours. We are rereading this book, and now we'll be reading the third chapter in a row. You can access the recording on YouTube later, and let's conclude with what do you say? A nice, bubbly self-empowerment dose of self-empowerment. Yeah, yeah. Let's do this. You can repeat after me. You can read it, maybe whatever you want. I'm going to take you out with this prayer, getting enabled. Holy Father, today, only for today, enable me to read and write, enable me not to hesitate to do what is right, enable me to give more and take less, enable me to give hope, strength, and experience, enable me to enable other and enable myself when I will, enable me to sharpen the saw, being of service, enable me to be proactive, not reactive. Holy Father, I'm eternally grateful for you for making me able, enabled, not disabled. Thank you, Holy Father. Thank you for this wonderful day, and thank you, everybody. That concludes our session.
Thank you.